We are on the north end of the Exuma chain of islands in the Bahamas and on an island called Norman's Cay. Um, we're exploring this aircraft, which is a C-47, a World War II cargo aircraft that was used for cargo and hauling troops in World War II. And we're trying to find out how it ended up in the water off the airstrip at Norman's Cay. Asking around a little bit, it looks like we were able to find the true story. Now, Carlos Ledier was a drug dealer in the 70s and 80s that worked for the Medellin cartel. And Carlos used this airstrip as a refueling station. So let me tell you the rest of the story. The story goes around that the airplane ran off the end of the runway because it was too loaded with cocaine and marijuana. That's not actually what happened. English Andy, a guy out of Florida, found this airplane for sale and talked the owner into letting him fly it over to Norman's Cay to see if Carlos wanted to buy the plane for running drugs. Carlos said no, but if you want to hang out here and party, you sure can. So English Andy, having quite the serious drinking problem, decided that's a good idea. So one morning, while wasted, he decided it would be a good idea to make some touch and goes. As he was making an approach, his left landing gear touched a sand berm and mainly ripped it right off. And he gave it full throttle, both engines, and unfortunately the prop on the left side hit the ground and bent. So now the right prop was going full blast. He gained a little bit of altitude and then basically the plane stopped flying and he ended up in the water at the end of the runway. And that's how it happened. Well, we're certainly glad that they got all that drug dealer business taken care of. In about 1982, Carlos Ledier was arrested along with all of his thugs and thrown in jail. We're anchored on the leeward side of this island so that we can get some protection from this storm that's coming in. It's about a 1 week long storm. Here's some people that we went to lunch with at McDuff's Bar and Grill. Very scenic little place. But a lot of people decided to take refuge on the leeward side of Norman's Cay for this storm coming in. And when you're sailing in the Bahamas in January, it's pretty common to have these huge wind events come through, and the best thing to do is find a place to lay low.
Our little anchorage. Can you hear the wind?
So, after leaving Norman's Cay, the next stop was Wardrick Wells, which is a Bahamian park, and you're not allowed to do any fishing or anything, harm any fish, do any lobster hunting or anything. We met two of the laziest fish that we're going to call Julie and Jeff, and these two sharks just love to hang out in the shade of our catamaran. The only time they would move would be if the catamaran was no longer giving them adequate shade. They would get back under it, but they hung out all day, just enjoying chilling out in the Bahamas. Well, unlike our shark friends, we can't just hang out and lay around all day. We got to go do something. So we found a little coral patch or two that we could do a little snorkeling, and so that's what we did. Just enjoyed looking around. Wardrick Wells has some very nice coral, I gotta admit, I'm a little spoilt with coral from Hawaii, and so even though the coral here is very pretty, there's not that much of it, and you just get these little patches that you can go snorkel around. So it's a bit of a challenge to find something worth going to see. But anyway, we enjoyed it, and hope you did too. So we'll see you next time.
It is sunset officially.